Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to completely flip how you think about booking spaces. We are taking venue selection from a super mundane, check-the-box logistical task and turning it into a highly strategic educational decision. We're focusing squarely on how the actual physical layout of a room intricately influences the way we learn, engage, and retain information.
Picture this for a second. Have you ever sat through a full 8-hour training session squeezed into a cramped, stuffy room? You know the kind where you can barely open your laptop, let alone take a deep breath? We have all felt the pain of a bad venue. It instantly spikes your cognitive load, it totally drains your energy, and frankly, it makes adult learning almost impossible. Because honestly, no matter how incredible the presenter is, if the room itself is fighting against the audience, the learning simply is not going to stick.
So here is our roadmap for today. We'll be looking at the adult learner mindset, matching layout to learning, why physical comfort equals concentration, the broader learning ecosystem, and finally, how to avoid common venue selection mistakes.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the adult learner mindset, and understand exactly what adults need to succeed.
The whole concept of adult learning principles basically boils down to this. Adults learn best when their environment is highly practical, incredibly comfortable, directly relevant to their day-to-day work, and super easy to participate in. Because adults bring years of prior experience and some pretty firm expectations into the room, right? They require relevance. They require autonomy. They aren't just blank slates waiting to be written on, and they definitely don't want to just sit silently through a passive lecture. They want to be actively involved in the whole shebang.
In practice, we know that adult learners are incredibly time-conscious and goal-focused. They want to know, why am I here and what am I getting out of this? They have to connect their learning to real-world workplace situations. Plus, they highly value peer discussion. Because let's face it, they often learn just as much from the person sitting next to them as they do from the facilitator. They need practical application, role play, software deep dives, problem solving. And this is exactly why a venue has to act as a silent co-facilitator to support those specific interactive behaviors. It can't just be four walls and a projector. Moving on to Section 2, matching layout to learning. Let's talk about matching your floor plan directly to your objective.
We absolutely have to shift our mindset away from simply cramming bodies into a room to actively engineering a floor plan that actually drives your educational goals. There's a great quote from our source material that hits the nail on the head. Room layout should match the training objective, not just the delegate numbers. The crucial takeaway here is that your layout dictates the group dynamics. It literally controls the participation levels. You aren't just arranging furniture, you're engineering the flow of conversation.
It's actually fascinating how just changing the shape of the room manipulates interaction. Take the classic classroom layout, for instance. It is perfect for structured learning, compliance training, and heavy note-taking where you really need that heads-down focus. But if you want peer learning and group work, you're going to need a cabaret layout to spark those discussions while keeping the presenter visible. Then you've got the U-shape. This one is phenomenal for facilitated discussions and leadership training because it forces participants to lock eyes and engage directly. And finally, the boardroom setup, which is custom-built for executive governance, coaching, and confidential decision-making. The layout literally is the strategy.
You do have to be a bit careful with the theater-style setup, though. While it works beautifully for a quick one-way presentation, like a TED Talk or a short briefing, it is completely unsuitable for a full day of interactive adult learning. Why? Just the sheer lack of table space. If people don't have a spot to drop a laptop, jot down notes, or review their materials, you're severely limiting the exact kind of practical application that adult learners crave.
All right, Section 3, physical comfort equals concentration. Let's explore how physical friction points can completely drain attention.
Think about what it takes for you to concentrate for hours on end. Step 1, ergonomic seating. Long sessions absolutely demand supportive chairs. Otherwise, that creeping discomfort is going to rapidly erode focus. Step 2 is ample table space. A desk that feels totally fine for a quick 30-minute meeting will feel incredibly claustrophobic when you've got laptops, workbooks, a coffee cup, and activities spread out all day. And Step 3, this is a big one: climate, acoustics, and natural light. If your delegates are shivering, straining to hear the speaker, or stuck in a windowless, dimly lit room, their attention is going to plummet. Good natural light and a comfortable temperature, they aren't luxuries. They are absolutely essential tools to reduce fatigue.
Which brings us to a really important aha moment. We're looking at a critical contrast here. We've got capacity-based booking, which asks the very basic logistical question, will they physically fit in the room, versus objective-based booking, which asks the strategic question, will they actually learn? We've got to stop just counting chairs. We need to start evaluating if the space truly allows participants to collaborate, use their tech, and comfortably absorb the material.
On to Section 4, the broader learning ecosystem. We're looking beyond the main room now.
Modern learning doesn't just happen on a whiteboard anymore. It relies heavily on seamless tech integration. First off, you need rock-solid, reliable Wi-Fi. It's basically the oxygen for live polling, shared docs, and cloud-based tools. Your AV tools, screens, mics, they have to let the facilitator move naturally without awkward pauses. Plus, hybrid capabilities are basically mandatory now, so remote folks on Zoom or Teams can jump in just as easily as the people sitting in the front row. And don't forget dedicated breakout spaces. That is where the magic of informal peer learning and deep group work actually happens, away from the main floor plan.
And speaking of that broader ecosystem, never ever underestimate catering. Timed breaks and genuinely caring about dietary requirements directly support everyone's energy and satisfaction. Whether it's a quick morning tea or ensuring there's actually a good gluten-free or vegan option for lunch, well-timed food is a mental reset button. It keeps focus high so your agenda flows without a hitch. Because, let's be real, nothing derails a great seminar faster than a group of hungry people and terrible, lukewarm coffee. Finally, Section 5, avoiding venue selection mistakes. Let's cover the traps you need to watch out for.
To dodge those traps, just keep this incredibly practical checklist handy next time you're sourcing a location. Start by confirming the training objective. That sets your layout. Make sure there's plenty of laptop space and bulletproof Wi-Fi. Map out your breakout spaces early on. Confirm all the catering and dietary needs so nobody is left hungry. Check for accessibility and that game-changing natural light. And lastly, lock in professional on-site support so your facilitators can actually focus on teaching instead of scrambling to fix a rogue microphone.
Because remember, if you forget these basic adult learner needs, even your most brilliant training content is going to be a struggle to deliver. Treating catering like an afterthought, underestimating your tech and hybrid setup, or falling back into that old habit of booking purely by room capacity, those mistakes will totally disrupt the flow of your entire event. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on for your next event. Next time you book a venue, ask yourself, are you just renting square footage, or are you actually designing an environment where adults can truly learn and thrive? It makes all the difference in the world. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.